You've been chair of HEQCO for 7 years. Looking back at that, what do you think the biggest challenges were? What do you think the biggest successes were?
Well, I have thought of that perhaps in a different context. I think the biggest challenges were sort of a combination, first of all, of factors. There has been a culture that we've had developed in our country of really not doing much research in post-secondary education. And I'm not in any way ignoring the faculties of education, Moisey and scholars there that have done, were the only players, really. So there was this, I think there was a suspicion about what is HEQCO going to do? Is it really necessary? Is some institution, presidents of colleges or universities, not many, because the Ray Review exposed this weakness, that there wasn't top-level research going on a lot of questions that were important, and hence the government was persuaded by Bob Ray's recommendation to set HEQCO up. But there was still this, on the institutional side, some doubts about what its role would be. Would it cut presidents out from direct involvement with, or direct, if you like, opportunities to have representations made to the minister and all of that, those relationships. So, and then secondly, within the government, here you are having an agency set up. In an ideal world, would be part of a department of government in some ways. That hadn't happened. So there was that challenge. And then the third, which comes somewhat connected with those two, is that how do you perform the role of an independent agency that is a Crown agency, paid for by the taxpayers of the province, giving advice to the minister? How can you, steer that, if you like, ship of research and policy advice in a way that is being respectful of the role of government, but yet is maintaining an integrity and independence that is not only in the interests of the sector, but also in the interests of the government itself, because it doesn't want to have an agency that is going to be regarded by constituents in that sector as being, oh, well, it's just an arm of government, and it doesn't have independence, and it doesn't have credibility, and it doesn't have objectivity. So those were challenges right from the outset. And then the other last challenge was, how do you get this organization started? How do you get it up and running? And I think that proved to be, in my view, easier than I had thought. Why? Because of the good people that came aboard.
People who know you say, and you are, very modest about your accomplishments. You're a pretty famous guy. You're asked to do a lot of things. Your time is being demanded by a lot of groups out there. You do a lot of work for the public good. And yet you've been willing to give 7 years to being the chair of HEQCO. Why?
Well, I don't have any hesitation in saying, and all of us who have had the chance to go to higher education, to go to post-secondary education, my life has been, and your life, and all of us who've been, has been fundamentally transformed. So in my case, I owe, after my parents and my values that they gave me, it's education in my life. The mission of the university, the college, is about a noble a mission as you can have, because not for what it actually does in its activities, but the consequence of those activities upon the students and the faculty who go there. And so my linking up with HEQCO was just a continuation of my involvement with post-secondary education and the nobility of that mission.